Okay, so today we're going deep on something I think many of us have seen, maybe even been tempted by online. It's about that kind of high-res image deception in retail.
Hmm.
We're focusing on a brand called Cowboyhood. And, well, they seem to have written the playbook on the old bait and switch.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant when you look closely.
The ads, they're all over social media, right? Promising these embroidered linen masterpieces, even handcrafted pieces. Beautiful stuff.
Visually, yes, but what actually arrives at your door, that's a whole different story.
Exactly. Customers are calling them polyester disappointments.
Mhm.
One source even used the term weapons-grade false advertising. Strong words.
And honestly, it's kind of warranted. This isn't just about getting something that's, lower quality than you hoped for.
Right.
This feels much more calculated. It's an operation seemingly designed to grab your money and then make it really, really hard to get it back.
Yeah.
It's systemic, not just sloppy.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Starting with the basics, the material lie you mentioned,
Yeah,
because that seems to be the foundation here.
it really is.
The ads promise premium materials, premium construction. How do they promise, say, handcrafted linen and then send out cheap polyester? Where's that line between just poor quality and like actual deception?
Well, I think the line gets crossed the moment they replace the actual craft with just a picture of it.
Ah,
The core issue here really is fundamental misrepresentation. Take one example. A buyer told us they expected this thick, beautiful embroidered sweater, with raised flowers, maybe some 3D bits, the kind of thing you'd treasure.
yeah, like a boutique piece. And what do they actually get?
They got a flimsy, cheap shirt, and on that shirt, a flat, screen-printed image of embroidery.
Wow. So not even trying to mimic the texture, just a photo of it.
Exactly. It's simulating the look, the quality, but none of it's actually there. That's the deception.
That's incredibly cynical. It's like ordering one of those chunky patchwork knit sweaters, right? Expecting actual squares of fabric stitched together.
Yeah, expecting real textile work. But instead, you get a thin polyester top with just a printed picture, a photo of a patchwork design.
It's just the appearance of craft.
Precisely. And this pattern repeats. People expecting linen blends, they get what they describe as scratchy polyester, or they order thick winter jackets.
And end up with,
Paper-thin zip-ups. That's a direct quote from a review. So when the advertising specifically highlights hand-embroidered details and you deliver a printed graphic, well, that's outright deception, no question.
okay, given how obvious the difference must be when you get the item, how does a company like this even survive? How do they keep operating without just drowning in complaints and chargebacks? What's the trick?
It seems to come down to engineering friction, making everything difficult for the customer after they have your money.
How so?
All the signs point to a classic dropshipping model. They market this premium idea, this visual, but the actual product shipped is a mass-produced, printed alternative.
Likely sourced from overseas.
Almost certainly. That's why the shipping times are consistently long, think 3 weeks on average. That screams overseas manufacturing and fulfillment.
And we also saw reports about major sizing inconsistencies. Is that just random bad luck or part of the model too?
It feels like a byproduct of the model. If you're pulling similar-looking items from potentially multiple different factories without strict quality control.
Then a large from one batch might be totally different from a large in the next.
Exactly. Even within the same order, people reported getting 2 items labeled the same size that fit completely differently. And, that inconsistency just adds another barrier and makes a successful return even less likely.
Which brings us to the return policy itself, the infamous return trap.
Mm.
Okay, so technically they say they accept returns within 30 days. Sounds reasonable.
On the surface, yes. But the devil's in the details, specifically the cost. How does that $45 dress end up costing $200 to return?
Right, that specific example was shocking. How is that even legal?
They leverage the logistics. Because the items often ship from international fulfillment centers, maybe in China, they mandate that you, the customer, have to pay to ship it back there internationally.
Ah, so the return address isn't local. It's back to the source, wherever that is.
Precisely. And international shipping, especially for individuals, can be incredibly expensive. That $200 quote for a $45 item, it makes returning it totally uneconomical. You're basically forced to keep it.
You're trapped. You've lost the money.
That's the goal. And then, to add insult to injury, customer service often avoids giving actual cash refund.
What do they offer instead?
Discount codes for future purchases, which of course nobody wants. It creates what reviewers call that endless loop of disappointment. The company keeps your cash, you keep the junk, and they hope you just give up.
So Wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you listening? What's the aha moment here?
I think it's about learning to spot the signs of these kinds of deceptive drop shipping setups before you buy.
Like the super long shipping times.
Yep, that's a big red flag. And the return policies. If it's vague or if return shipping looks like it could be astronomical, pause, think twice.
And the reliance on those hyper-realistic photos that maybe look too good to be true for the price.
Exactly. Those perfect social media images versus the potential reality.
So for anyone out there hunting for those unique, cool pieces online, what's the practical advice?
It sounds basic, but really check the retailer's reputation. Look for established places with clear, transparent, and importantly, affordable return policies. Understand the logistics behind the pretty pictures.
That's the real defense, isn't it? Understanding how they make returns difficult. It's almost like you need to treat slick social media ads as a bit of a financial risk assessment now.
That's a great way to put it.
Before you click buy on that amazing-looking embroidered jacket, maybe just ask yourself, okay, if this shows up and it's just a printed piece of plastic, what's it realistically going to cost me in time and money to send it back?
Asking that question up front could save you a lot of hassle and cash.
Definitely something to think about next time that perfect item pops up in your feed.